Today, on this very day, August 10th, Archangel Michael is trying to reach you right now, and you have skipped so many of his calls, so many of his whispers, so many of the gentle touches that God Himself has sent your way, and every time you turned away, every time you said later, every time you scrolled past or ignored that sudden feeling in your heart, you hurt not only the messenger but the one who sent him. And now there is no more time to waste, because something unexpected, something sudden, something that will change the path of your life forever is about to happen, and heaven is moving in ways you cannot see, and right now God is looking at you with such love but also with urgency, because this moment is different from all the other moments you have had before. This moment is a divine intersection where heaven and earth align to give you one last chance before the shift comes, and Archangel Michael is fighting through the noise of your thoughts, through the distractions, through the heaviness you've been carrying, trying to get you to stop for just a moment and open your spirit to hear, because he has been sent with a message that is for you alone. And if you miss it, if you skip it, if you keep telling yourself that you will listen tomorrow, then you might walk straight past the blessing or the warning that was meant to protect you. And I tell you with all the truth of heaven that the thing coming will not wait for you to be ready, it will not pause for you to decide if you believe enough. It will not knock twice in the same way, because it is moving quickly, it is moving suddenly, and God is allowing this moment so that your eyes may finally open and see the reality of His hand in your life. For too long you have doubted that He truly sees you. Too long you have wondered if you are important enough for Him to care. Too long you have been buried under voices that tell you you are just another person in a world full of noise. But right now, in this very second, heaven is silent. Except for your name being spoken over and over by the one who created you, your name is echoing in the halls of eternity, and Michael is standing in front of you holding a sword of light to cut away the lies, to destroy the chains, to clear the path before you. But he cannot force you to listen, he cannot drag you into the truth. You must choose to receive this, and if you truly knew the weight of what was coming, you would not hesitate, you would not delay. Because even now shadows are shifting in the unseen, plans are being made both in heaven and in darkness, and the choice you make in this moment will decide which side you are aligned with. And God's heart is aching because He has been patient. For so long, He has waited for you in the quiet, He has spoken through strangers, through dreams, through moments you thought were coincidences, but there is no coincidence in His kingdom, there is only divine timing. And this, child, is divine timing. This is the hour, this is the point in your life when things can change so suddenly that you will barely have time to catch your breath. And whether that sudden change will be the breakthrough you have been praying for or the storm you have been dreading depends on whether you will stop skipping His voice now, for there are doors opening in the spiritual realm that will never open again in the same way, and if you walk through them you will see blessings pour out in ways that will leave you in tears of gratitude. But if you ignore them, those doors will close and you will not even know what you missed, and I tell you this not to scare you but to awaken you. Because your life is not a casual thing to God, your life is precious, and the enemy knows that, which is why he has tried so hard to keep you distracted, to keep you busy, to keep you thinking you have more time, but you do not have more time. This is the moment to listen, to stop and hear what the Spirit is saying, to receive the help heaven is sending. Because the unexpected thing that is coming will either be the answer to your prayer or the shaking that forces you to your knees, and God does not want you to fall in fear. He wants you to stand in faith, to stand in His covering, to stand with Michael at your side. And even now I see the light breaking through over you. Even now the chains of doubt are trembling. Even now the assignments of darkness are being cancelled, but it will only take full effect if you open your heart in this moment and say, Lord, I hear you. I will not skip this. I will not run past your voice again. And as soon as you make that choice, things in the unseen will shift instantly. The unexpected will turn in your favor. The sudden will become your blessing instead of your downfall. And you will see with your own eyes that God was never far from you, that Michael was always fighting for you, that heaven never forgot your name, and you will realize that all along the voice you kept skipping was the very voice that was holding your future in its hands. And when that realization hits you, you will understand why today, August 10th, was marked in eternity as the day you chose not to hurt God by ignoring Him again, the day you stepped into the sudden with faith instead of fear, the day heaven and earth moved for you, because you finally stopped skipping and started listening. And now that you have paused long enough to let these words find you, I need you to understand that the weight of what is being said is not meant to simply pass through your ears and vanish. It is meant to anchor into your spirit, because heaven has waited for this alignment and you have been carried to this very moment through trials, through seasons you thought you would never survive, through nights you cried without anyone knowing. And yet God saw, Michael saw, the angels saw, and they have not been silent even though you thought they were. They have been arranging, moving, removing, and protecting you in ways you will only understand later, but now they are saying the unexpected thing is closer than you think, closer than your own breath, closer than your own heartbeat. And if your eyes could see the spiritual reality around you right now, you would fall to your knees in awe and in urgency, because there is a great movement in the heavens where angels are gathering, messages are being sealed, assignments are being deployed, and Michael is at the forefront holding a banner with your name written across it in light. And that light is a signal to heaven's armies to surround you, to stand with you, to ensure that no weapon formed against you prospers. But all of this power, all of this covering, all of this protection is activated when you choose to not skip the voice anymore, and yet the enemy is fully aware of this, which is why he is even now trying to distract you with thoughts that make you want to close this, to walk away, to push this message aside. But child, this is not the hour to let your mind wander. This is not the hour to let your emotions dictate your obedience. This is the hour to press in and listen, because your life is hanging in the balance of obedience. Your future is wrapped inside this divine interruption. And I can see that God is showing you small signs even now to confirm this word, flashes of memory, sudden thoughts, a warmth in your chest, maybe even tears you didn't expect, because your spirit knows this is true. Your spirit knows you have been skipping the very voice that has been trying to save you, and right now heaven is pleading with you not to make the same mistake again. For the unexpected can be a blessing or a shaking, and the difference lies in whether you will heed the call and As Michael reaches for you, his hand extended, his sword blazing, I hear the Spirit say that doors are already creaking open in the unseen, and once they swing wide they will release a flood of events that cannot be stopped. And your readiness now determines whether that flood brings in the harvest or sweeps away the foundation you thought was secure. And I do not say this to bring fear, but to bring the sobering awareness that you matter far more than you realize, that your choices reverberate into realms you cannot see, and that the reason God is speaking so strongly now is because this alignment will not come again in this way, and so He is leaning in, bending the course of your day, sending this word to you so that you cannot say you did not hear, so that you will have the chance to say yes before the wave hits. And child, I promise you, if you listen, if you open, if you surrender this moment, the unexpected that is coming will shift in your favor. Miracles will break out in the very places you thought were barren. Healing will spring forth in the wounds you thought would never close. Restoration will flood into relationships you thought were over, and strength will rise in you in ways that make you unshakable. But if you skip, if you turn away, if you close your ears again, the suddenness will still come, but it will come like a storm with no shelter. And you will wish you had taken these moments to stand under the covering that is being offered now. So please, for your sake, for your future's sake, for the sake of those connected to your destiny, hear this and receive it, because Michael is not knocking at random, he is here on a direct assignment from the throne of God. And God Himself is watching to see if this time, this very time, you will finally answer. And as you stand in this moment between the call and your response, I need you to know that heaven has already recorded this day, that this date is etched into the book of your life as the day when the decision you make will cause ripples through every chapter yet to come, and Michael is watching with eyes like fire, not because he is angry with you but because he carries the weight of your protection in his hands. And he knows the forces that are moving against you, forces you cannot see but have already felt in the heaviness of your days, in the resistance you face when you try to move forward, in the sudden discouragement that comes when you are close to a breakthrough, and he has been fighting those forces relentlessly. But your agreement with heaven is the key that allows him to fight without restriction. Your obedience is the shield that turns away the arrows of the enemy, and your choice to listen right now is the spark that ignites the flood of blessings waiting to be released. And I tell you this in love but also with urgency, because the unexpected is not far off. It is not next year or next month. It is so near that even now you are brushing against its edges. Even now small events are shifting like pieces on a chessboard, moving into place for the sudden moment when everything will change. And I see the Father's heart leaning toward you, longing for you to trust Him, longing for you to believe that He has only good intentions for you. Longing for you to throw aside the weight of doubt and step under His covering completely, for when you do, the fear of the sudden will break off you like chains falling to the ground, and you will walk into the unexpected not as a victim but as one who has been prepared, positioned, and empowered. But hear me, child, this is not the kind of preparation you can make in your own strength. It comes from surrender, from saying yes to the voice you have skipped so many times before. And I can feel the pull of the Spirit even now pressing into your heart, breaking through the walls you have built, whispering that this is the moment to stop running, to stop pretending you have more time. Because the hourglass is almost empty and the turn of events is already in motion, and when it arrives you will either be standing in the place God positioned you, or you will be scrambling to find shelter from a storm you could have avoided. And Michael is lifting his sword not to fight you but to fight for you. But he will not force his way past your will. He will not override the gift of choice God placed in you. So the question hangs in the air like a breath waiting to be released. Will you listen this time? Will you open the door? Will you take the hand extended to you before the sudden breaks over your life? And if you will, I promise you will see the goodness of God in a way you have never known. You will watch as what was meant to harm you becomes the very thing that lifts you higher, and you will stand in awe at how quickly the story can turn when heaven is involved. But it begins with this moment, this choice, this surrender, right here, right now, on this day that will be remembered in heaven as the day you finally said yes. And as this moment unfolds, I see the angels gathering closer, as if leaning in to witness whether your heart will respond, because they know the magnitude of what is hanging in the balance. They know that one yes from you could open floodgates of divine favor, healing, and restoration that generations before you prayed for but never saw. And I tell you the truth, the enemy also knows this, and he has been relentless in his attempts to keep you blind to the urgency of this hour, filling your days with distractions, your mind with noise, your spirit with fatigue, hoping you will scroll past this, hoping you will reason it away, hoping you will say maybe later. But later will be too late, because the sudden is not waiting for your convenience. It is coming like the first crack of lightning in a storm, without warning to those who are unprepared, but a signal to those who have been listening. And heaven is giving you this signal now, so you will not be caught unaware, so you will not be swept into fear, so that when the shift happens you will be standing in the light instead of groping in the dark. And Michael is speaking your name even now, not in a whisper but in a voice that shakes the atmosphere around you, because he has been dispatched for such a time as this, to fight for you, to protect what God has placed in your hands, and to ensure that the unexpected that is coming works in your favor. But he can only fully act when you align yourself under God's covering, and I sense that even now something is stirring in you. An awareness that this message is not just for someone else, that You were meant to hear this, that God has paused your life in this very moment so you would not miss the call again, and He is saying to you with all the love and fire of heaven, do not hurt me by skipping this again. Do not turn away from the very voice that has carried you through storms you didn't even know were raging, because I have been with you in every step, and I am with you now, and if you trust me in this sudden moment, I will turn what the enemy meant for harm into a testimony so powerful it will shake the chains off others. But you must decide now, before the sudden strikes, before the unexpected arrives, because once it does, the time to prepare will be over, and I have sent Michael ahead of it. To reach you, to warn you, to shield you, but only if you let him, only if you say yes. And child, this is the final nudge, the last gentle pull before the wave, so take it, for it is yours. And it is heaven's desire that you walk into the days ahead not in fear, but in victory. And now, as heaven waits for your answer, I want you to understand that your yes today is not a small thing. It is not just a fleeting decision, it is the key that will open doors you didn't even know existed. It is the permission heaven needs to release everything that has been held back for the appointed time, and that time is now, not tomorrow, not when you feel ready, because readiness is not about your strength. It is about your willingness, and God is saying that if you will open now, if you will take this moment and make it holy by surrendering it to Him, then the sudden that is coming will be the very thing that launches you into the destiny you were created for, and you will see favor appear in places you thought were closed. You will see people come into your life who carry answers you have prayed for. You will see chains break so easily that you will wonder why you feared them for so long, and you will stand in awe knowing that it all shifted on this day when you chose to finally listen, when you chose not to hurt God by skipping His voice again. And I see Michael lowering his sword now, not because the battle is over, but because your yes has given him the authority to fight without resistance, and angels are already moving out on assignment to clear the path ahead of you, to shield you from the traps that were laid in secret, to overturn the plans that were set against you. And in the spirit I see the sudden moment approaching like a great wave. But instead of crashing down to destroy you, it will lift you higher than you have ever been, and the wind of God will be at your back, pushing you into new places, new seasons, new blessings, and you will look back on this August 10th and you will remember that it was the day heaven reached for you one more time, the day you reached back, the day the turning point came. And from that day forward your steps will be ordered in ways so precise you will know without doubt that God Himself is guiding you, and your heart will no longer question if you matter to Him, because you will have felt the proof in the shift, in the blessing, in the protection, and you will testify that God does not give up on His children. That even when we skip His voice, He finds ways to reach us again, and that when we finally listen, everything changes. And as I close these words I tell you again with all the weight of heaven, do not delay, do not turn away, do not skip this moment, for the sudden is almost here, and your yes will decide whether it comes as a blessing or a shaking. So say yes now, open now, receive now, because heaven is ready, Michael is ready, and your life will never be the same after today.